Episode 6 drops on the 25th, and based on the synopsis alone, it's shaping up to be one of the more consequential episodes of the season. Two things are happening simultaneously. Boyd and Jade are at odds over whether the knowledge from Jade's trip can actually be trusted, and deeply troubling news from the settlement is making its way back to town. Those two threads are going to collide, and when they do, the fallout could shift everything. Let's start with Boyd and Jade. At the end of episode 5, Jade came out of that mushroom trip with what he described as the answer, a way to save the town and the children. He believes it involves going into the tunnels beneath Colony House and recovering the bones buried in that pit under the sacrificial chamber. That's the theory the show has been building toward, and it makes sense on paper. But Boyd's hesitation makes equal sense. Almost everything Jade experienced was a hallucination. The door he found inside Colony House, the tunnel, the long corridor of pre-lit lamps, none of that was real. What Jade is working from is a vision, not a map. And Boyd, more than almost anyone in this town, knows what it costs when people act on incomplete information. This is the tension the synopsis is setting up. It's not just a disagreement. It's a question the show is genuinely asking. How much do you trust knowledge that came from inside someone's head while they were on mushrooms? Jade is convinced enough to act on it. Boyd isn't, and both of them have reasonable grounds for where they stand. Jade has been right before. His connection to this town, like Tabitha's, runs deeper than anyone fully understands yet. But Boyd has watched people die following leads that turned out to be wrong, and the tunnels are where the monsters sleep. Going in there without certainty isn't a risk, it's a gamble with lives. What makes this conflict interesting is that it isn't just strategic, it's personal. Boyd has been carrying the weight of this town for a long time, and Jade represents something he doesn't fully trust yet. Someone whose memories aren't entirely his own, who carries knowledge from past versions of himself that even he can't fully verify. The question of whether that knowledge is reliable is really a question about identity. How much of what Jade knows is actually Jade, and how much of it is the town speaking through him? Now the second thread, troubling news from the settlement reaching town. We already know what happened out there. Roger is dead. Donna was viciously attacked and barely made it. The Scarecrows came back after the group sank them, which means whatever they tried didn't work. And Tabitha, based on the trailer clip of her answering a phone at home, makes it back. But the way that news lands in town is going to matter just as much as the news itself. Think about the timing. The town is already on edge. Sophia has been quietly working to frame Jade and Tabitha as the source of everything wrong here. Marielle is being shaped into a prophet whose visions Sophia controls. And now word comes back that people went out to the settlement and someone died. Roger wasn't a peripheral character. People knew him. His death is going to land hard, and in a town already looking for something to blame, that kind of grief has a way of turning into anger fast. The show has done this before. It doesn't take much to tip a frightened community towards scapegoating. And the pattern that young Jade laid out in that trip, the town learning who Jade is, turning on him, and killing him, that cycle has to start somewhere. News of what happened at the settlement, filtered through people who are already scared and already being manipulated by Sophia, could be exactly what starts it. Watch how the information travels, who hears it first, how it gets framed, and whether Sophia finds a way to shape the narrative before anyone else does. That's where the real danger in this episode is likely to sit, not in the tunnels, not in the mushroom trip aftermath, but in the way a community processes loss when someone has already been whispering in their ear about who's responsible. Episode 6 lands on the 25th. Two men arguing over whether a hallucination is worth dying for, and a town about to hear news that could change everything. It's a slow burn setup for what feels like a much larger break coming before the season ends. Drop your predictions in the comments. I want to know what you think Boyd and Jade decide and whether you think the town turns before or after they figure out what's in those tunnels. Like and subscribe for the full episode 6 breakdown when it drops, and I'll see you then.